Section 19. 7 Important Aspects of Title III, Fair Housing Practice in the Market. Introduction, where ADA meets real estate reality. As we move into this section, we take everything we've learned about the ADA and apply it directly to your role as a real estate professional. Title III is where most agents unknowingly create risk, especially when dealing with commercial properties or residential communities with public-facing areas. Here's the truth in 2026. ADA compliance is one of the most litigated areas in real estate. Many property owners and even agents assume they are compliant when they are not. And when that happens, lawsuits follow. Understanding these 7 key aspects of Title III will help you identify issues before they become liabilities and position you as a knowledgeable professional advisor to your clients. Aspect 1. New construction ADA requirements. The ADA established a critical compliance date, January 26, 1992. Any publicly accommodating property built after this date must meet ADA accessibility requirements. This means that when you are representing a buyer or seller of a commercial property built after this date, ADA compliance is not optional. It is expected. For example, if you are listing a retail building constructed in 2005, it must meet ADA standards. If it does not, that could impact the transaction, negotiations, and potential liability. Aspect 2. Cost of compliance is lower than you think. One of the biggest misconceptions about ADA compliance is that it is too expensive. In reality, studies have shown that incorporating ADA features into new construction typically costs less than 1% of the total building cost. This is a powerful point when working with clients. The cost of compliance is minimal compared to the potential cost of a lawsuit or required retrofitting. Additionally, not every feature must be fully accessible. Only specific required elements must meet standards. Aspect 3. Alterations. Trigger compliance. Anytime a property is altered, ADA compliance may be triggered. If changes affect usability, such as moving a doorway or renovating a lobby, the updated area must meet current ADA standards. Even more importantly, when a primary function area is altered, an accessible path of travel to that area must also be provided. For example, if a restaurant remodels its dining area, it must also ensure that the entrance and pathways to that area are accessible. This is where many property owners make mistakes. They upgrade spaces without considering accessibility requirements. Aspect 4. Practical limitations exist. The ADA does recognize that not every property can meet every requirement due to physical or structural limitations. Factors such as space constraints, building layout, and safety concerns may limit what can be done. For example, if adding a handrail would create a safety hazard due to limited space, the law may not require that modification. This is an important concept. ADA compliance is based on reasonableness, not perfection. Aspect 5. Reasonable accommodations in public spaces. Title III requires reasonable accommodations in public facilities. This means making adjustments to policies, practices, or features to allow individuals with disabilities to access and use the property. Examples include allowing service animals in no-pet environments or installing visual fire alarms for individuals with hearing impairments. If a request seems unreasonable, the property owner must still engage in a good faith discussion to explore alternatives. This is where professionalism matters. How you respond to these requests can determine whether you are compliant or at risk. Aspect 6. Enforcement and penalties. ADA violations can lead to serious legal consequences. Private individuals can file lawsuits, and the Attorney General can bring enforcement actions in cases involving broader patterns of discrimination. Penalties can include court orders to fix violations, monetary damages, civil penalties up to $50,000 for a first violation and $100,000 for additional violations. These numbers should get your attention. Compliance is always less expensive than enforcement. Aspect 7. Benefits of ADA certification. Some state and local building codes can be certified by the Department of Justice as meeting ADA standards. When a property is built or modified according to these certified codes, it can serve as evidence of compliance. This is extremely valuable in legal situations. If a claim is made, having certification can help defend against allegations of non-compliance. For agents, this means encouraging clients to follow certified standards whenever possible. Why these 7 aspects matter to you. As a real estate professional, you are often the bridge between buyers, sellers, and the property itself. Understanding ADA compliance allows you to identify risks before a transaction closes, advise clients accurately, protect your license and reputation, Add value as a knowledgeable professional. In today's market, clients expect more than just transactional support. They expect expertise. Connecting Title III to your daily practice. Whether you are listing a commercial property, advising a landlord, or working with investors, ADA compliance is part of your responsibility. You don't need to be an architect or engineer, but you do need to recognize potential issues and recommend professional assistance when needed. This is where you separate yourself from average agents. Online discussion. Question 1. Why is the 1992 ADA compliance date important? Answer: because all publicly accommodating properties built after that date must meet ADA accessibility standards. Question 2. What triggers ADA compliance during renovations? Answer: any alteration that affects usability, especially in primary function areas, requires compliance and accessible pathways. Question 3. What is a reasonable accommodation under Title III? Answer: an adjustment to policies or features that allows a person with a disability to access and use a public facility.